Jim was older, he was more experienced, he'd played with a lot of bands, he was more experienced chordally, how to put a song together, and also he was much more technically minded. He had the studio set up, melody and lyrics, I suppose Andrew did a lot more of that. We were all still quite young, Andrew was 16, we were still in school when we first started, so we were all just learning. Really, we were all learning together in a lot of ways.
I was always dabbling with writing on the piano. It was only when I was only able to really launch into it properly when I got my first little recorder, a little Porta Studio, Tascam Porta Studio, and then I was able to start writing properly. And the idea of being able to overdub different parts onto a tape was heaven for me. I loved it.
Jim just, I remember, collected all the gear for the studio. He'd rented a house very close to our family house in Dundalk, and I remember he had boxes on the walls for the soundproofing. I mean, it was a room, basically. All it was a room in a house, a very cold house for that matter. I remember that. And we used to spend all our time there. People must have thought, what are they doing around there? But he collected a lot of gear, like a small 8-track studio and whatever he needed. He had a few synthesizers and all this sort of stuff. And we used to just write the music that way, sit down and write the music and try and record it.
They worked hard at perfecting both their playing and their songwriting. But as yet, there were no plans to take their music beyond the four walls of Jim's makeshift studio. Then in 1990, the director Alan Parker was auditioning local bands for his new film, The Commitments.
Who are your influences? Barry Manilow.
It was the catalyst they needed. The Corrs became a band.
Okay, just tell the camera your name, can you?
Sorry,
tell the camera your name.
My name's Jim Corr.
Is this your first time you've sung in public?
Well, in public, yeah.
Alan Parker himself conducted interviews in the basement kitchens of the Waterfront, a well-known Dublin music venue.
Caroline Corr.
And how old are you, Caroline?
I'm 17.
Just tell the camera your name, Sharon, can you?
Sharon Corr.
I was terrified, just like, I don't know, deer in the headlights, I was really terrified. So was Jim. So was Caroline. Andrew was 15 going, I'm great. So she was,